no audio, right. So we've done all that, and we've got no audio. So, sorry, Ross. We'll introduce again. Let's start again, shall we? So, Sam and Chris, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, so, Slipping Grip Sim Racing channel, welcome back. So, yeah, as I was saying, Tom not able to be with us this week, so I've got Ross instead, the owner and founder of Slip and Grip Automotive. So, evening again, Ross.
Evening, bud, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we'll not go through all the crap that we've just been through whilst our mics were muted or whatever was going on. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, we're obviously just in the free practice session. At the minute, we are looking from a helicam actually at Matty Johnston's car. So I'll just try and turn that over if we can, because I believe Matty is following Ant Brown around. So yeah, we are at we're in France. We're at the Paul Ricard circuit, and currently the track is on green. You can see on the display in the top right corner, but it was wet at the start of this session, so it was a 50-minute practice session as we lead into the qualifying session, and the track has dried out throughout this session. So mixed conditions, and obviously the conditions will stay the same, ready for the racing as well. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky one, I think, Ross, for the drivers to comprehend in terms of setup, what compromises the mech.
Yeah, I think they've been quite lucky, as you say, in the fact that they've had mixed conditions in this session, which a lot of them will only have done this session because you know what they're like. You know, Matt Johnson's got in 10 minutes ago and he's already 5th in practice. So yeah, but yeah, like you say, they're going to have to make compromises on setups, aren't they, to make a sort of a mediocre setup that will suit potentially all conditions if it's like this in the race.
Yeah, I mean, we do obviously have the opportunity at the start of each race to be able to put whatever setups the guys want on. So there's a 5-minute wait time at the start. So if the weather forecast telemetry is not showing anything too suspect, they should be able to run a fairly safe setup either side. But it'd be nice from our point of view if there's potentially mixed condition, because then you're looking at maybe a pit stop for tyres, or like you say, we've got to go for a balance with the setup. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few minutes. Just aware, seeing Vincent in the chat. It's not a qualifying session at the minute. It is just the end of the free practice session. So you can see at the top of the screen, it's telling you free practice session. The timer has run out on that. So apologies, I will just show another car for the now. But yeah, so once this session is over, we're going to tick over into our qualifying session, which will be a 15-minute session for these guys. So we've got 18 drivers on the grid. The grid, unfortunately, a little bit depleted this week. I know there's a few guys that are away. Some of our regulars not able to attend. So we never mind. We will carry on, and those guys will use up one of their drop scores as Andy Benton goes a different route. He's going to send that into the wall, I think, is he? Oh no, he did use a runoff. Anyway, yeah, we've got a short qualifying session that will set up the grid for both the races. So whatever happens in that qualifying session, that will be a grid for races 1 and 2. Two half-hour races again for this series with no mandatory pit stops. It is just pure sprint racing.
There's actually hundreds between Butcher in 5th and Challoner in 8th as well, so that's a close.
Yeah, it is very, very close. It's actually, yeah, I was going to say it's actually Jan. We're used to seeing Christian, his brother, that bit further up, but I think the time's still a little bit mixed up from the previous. I'm going to say the previous set. I can get my words out. Sorry, the weather change. So I think there's a few guys that have obviously set times earlier on in the session when it was still wet, and obviously as the track has dried out, yeah, we've obviously got faster times coming in. But
and now it's pouring with rain.
Exactly. So yeah, the conditions were set to rain, I think the overall settings, it was always likely to be the cause.
Everyone's effing and blinding in the chat, Discord chat now, I expect.
Yeah, apart from Joe. I think Joe will be the only one that's happy. Joe normally likes the wet conditions. We'll have a look at his car actually whilst we're here. So yeah, Joe normally the first guy asking for some wet races and wet conditions. So if he doesn't do very well tonight, I don't think he'll be very happy about it, and we can all give him some stick later on. But say the guys then heading out onto the sighting lap, getting ready to start this qualifying session. So you can see the timer is already counting down, and it's a long lap, this one, especially in the wet conditions. It's going to be sort of 2 minutes and maybe a little bit extra lap time. So, it's Andy Benton already showing you the perils of using the curbs in the wet. But yeah, with over 2 minutes to complete a lap, plus your out laps, there's not going to be many flying laps these guys can do. As Joe goes all over... I know what Joe's doing. Joe's taking out all the cones on his screen. That's why he's running all over there. So...
Andy Benton was having trouble getting going again. He did 2 more half spins before he managed to crack on.
As long as he gets going, that's the main thing. But yeah, the 2-time champ coming into strife early in this session. I'm just trying to see who is going to be the first person to put a lap in, actually. Joe's actually been one of the first guys out normally. Is he holding up Matty Johnston? He's holding up Matty Johnston. Matty Johnston wanting to try and get through. He's all over the curb. These two are going to make contact if they're not careful. It's both of the Bookers, or Butcher, however we say the surname. Not told us otherwise. These two still racing on a qualifying session. Not good for them. So yeah, it's Jan and Christian who have started, so they will set the first representative times. And then you've got Matty Johnston, who now has found his way past Joe, and Joe is going to try and follow him. Matty's spray, which, to be honest, it probably isn't quite as bad in the wet conditions. The spray will be bad, but in terms of like the aero side of things, normally you get the aero wash, but because they're going that little bit slower, it might not be the end of the world.
Can you get in car there, Andy? See what his vision's like?
An onboard. Let's have a look. Yeah, so they are normally exaggerated a little bit when you jump on the onboards, rather than what the drivers actually see on their own screen. But you can see fighting the car through the kink onto the back straight. But yeah, there is obviously a lot of spray. We'll see if there's a little bit closer. Yeah, as I say, it is a little bit exaggerated on the streams, but it's definitely wet. I can say that for certain. As we'll cut back to an outfield track camera. And there goes another cone, as you see, flying across the screen. That's Matty Johnston that must have clipped that ahead. Just waiting to see those first times come in. We'll stick with Joe just for the rest of this lap. As he goes wide, then I don't know if it's not saying that he's got a track cut and a deleted time there on my screen, so should still be okay with that for now. I think the track limits for again, it's a bit of a mixed bag on this circuit. The first sector you can really cut. You can't cut any of the corners. It's really harsh on it. But the last sector, especially the right-hander at the end of the straight, you can go really wide without actually getting a track limits warning.
Yeah, there's a couple of cones just out on the left there, and so long as you come back onto the track just to the right of those, it seems like you're all good.
So those first times are coming in then. And Joe currently the slowest of those runners, so he's not happy and he's going to go back to the pit straight away. So Matty Johnston with the early advantage then. He's got a 10th in hand over Christian. So it was a good lap from Matt in the end. Let's have a look. he's just getting caught up in some traffic. Ant Brown now jumping to the top of the leaderboard. I'm waiting to see what Leon will do as well. So we know Leon, who has obviously jumped in and started racing with us, and is an SRO driver, has been absolutely dominant since he came in. Won every race he's started, and yeah, is clearly just on another level, really. But let's see how he gets on with the wet weather conditions. I'm sure it won't be an issue for him.
Ashworth's been much more competent recently as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, a massive improvement from Ash, actually. Have kept pointing it out on the streams over the last few weeks. I think he managed to get a win in the AM class in the previous series. It put him up into the silvers, and I know he was worried. Sorry, as we just see Leon go 1.8 seconds faster than Ant Brown there. So yeah, certainly no issues from him in the wet. But yeah, just coming back to Ash, we'll have him on the stream, shall we? I know he was worried about getting into the silvers, but I know speaking to him about it, so that all he can do is just stay consistent. I know that at times maybe his pace isn't quite there, but I think overall in this series his pace has actually been more than solid for that class. And as I've tried to reiterate to everyone, it's just about keeping the car on the circuit. Just avoid trouble, keep the car on circuit, and you're guaranteed to pick up a few places just from that alone. And that's what he's been doing. He's had a really solid series, and I think he's either third or fourth in the silvers overall. So yeah, he's had a good solid run.
Last week's racing was key pointing factor to that, wasn't it? That if you keep things tidy, you can get from the back of the grid to at least the middle of the grid by the end of the race. Yeah, especially race 2. Unfortunately, race 2 was a bit dire. Race 1, I thought we said at the time, was very good actually, and especially turn 1 at Monza. It was as clean as pretty much you'd like, as Ash gets that wrong. I think he just saw the car exiting the pits and it put him off a little bit there. So we'll leave Ash to carry on with that. But the turn 1 last week, and then subsequent turns in race 2 didn't go to plan. So hopefully everyone has learned the lessons from that, and we get a bit more of a clean getaway and clean race this time. Obviously not as many people on the grid, so it should be a little bit less congested. So as we've got 6.5 minutes left then of this session, so not many laps to go. Just put Landon on the screen. He's got the sort of camouflage black and white, as he's nicknamed it, the cow livery. Landon, our most distant driver, I think it's fair to say, hailing from Pennsylvania in the US. And as he stated in the chat with us before, he actually managed to get his shifts, his overall shifts and rotors changed at work so that he could actually come race with us on a Sunday, which is commitment of the highest order. That's brilliant. So
good stuff from Landon, and new to us in this series, and he's been getting better. I think his times have obviously been getting a little bit more consistent, and I think with a lot of the newer guys to us as well, I think it's been about just learning how our regular guys race, how we like to race in slip and grip. We try to I don't know, I think gentleman driver might be the sort of right way to describe it. Playing fair overall.
Fair but tough, isn't it?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not all after you, sir, and there is tough moves and that, but I think everyone, for the most part, stays on that right line of giving enough room and space and not doing silly dive bombs. I think for the most part we've done pretty well with that, so long may that continue.
That's the great thing about driving with the same people all the time, isn't it? Is you get to know how each other race, and you can then race side by side and bumper to bumper without issue.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to look at your timing screen to know Joe's behind you. You just have to see the strobe lights going on.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, Joe is up into 6th, so he has improved from his earlier runs. Obviously, wasn't happy. Must have made it quite a drastic setup change, I bet, or even just tried the wet preset if he's not run that before. But he has moved himself up into 6th. I am impressed with Jan Booker as well. He's top Am by quite some distance. Not to sort of disrespect Jan, but he's obviously not been that far up the grid in this series, but is relishing these wet conditions at the minute.
So certain people really comfortable in the wet, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely appears that way. There's obviously a little bit difference in terms of the technique and that you can use, and I was about to say trying to stay off those curves and the painted bits, but Jan, as he gets it fully sideways to that car, as you can see, is obviously not running the most downforce. It was very sketchy through that left kink. I was going to say you stay off all the painted bits, and he started using them all, so contradicting me straight away. We've got 3 minutes left, so we've only got a couple laps potentially for guys to be able to complete. That's Tom Lyons just gone up into 3rd place, so that's a good effort from him, and he's actually going back to the pits. Will he get out again? He'll have to be quick about it if he's going to do it. We'll see. We'll just stick with him, see if he does go again. Yes, he does. So Tom is going to go for another lap. Ant Brown currently 7/10 up, so Ant is on the move as Joe has just gone ahead of Ant then. So Joe up onto the 2nd row of the grid at the moment. Anyone else? There's quite a few guys improving by quite some margins on the deltas. It's all going to come down to this last lap though, I think. So I'm back up into 3rd place then. So do you imagine the track conditions then, Rossi? Although we're seeing quite a lot of rain, it's obviously still falling. Do you think must be an evolution of the track as they're going on?
It's hard to say, isn't it? Because it still looks as it's raining as much as it was at the start of the session. But maybe they're just out there cleaning it all the time, and it's just giving a little bit of extra grip. But
yeah, so Anne is currently tucked up behind, I believe that's Igor, his teammate. It is. So Ant trying to use some slipstream on this back straight, but he's already 3/10 down. He's probably going to back out and let Igor get on with that, I would imagine, because Igor hasn't set a valid lap yet. Same with Nick Myers. And just stick with these two. Yeah, so Ant is going to leave it for the moment. I would imagine he'll get one chance. Still, yeah, he's got enough time to get round again. Leon is slightly up on his delta at the start of his lap, but he's not going to have to worry about anyone behind at the minute. That's Ant getting out the way of, is that Matty Johnston? It is Matty Johnston, who's going to come across Igor just at the wrong time. He's 1.7 seconds up, so it would shift him right up the grid. He'd be looking at getting on the front row, actually, if he can keep that. But no, he's actually lost out, so that, unfortunate for Matt, he's hit the traffic just at the wrong time. And will he try and get another lap in? I think he's going to get compromised by Igor again. Let's see. So Igor gets a lap in. Matty Johnston does improve and go up into 6th place, but yeah, Matt really could have been challenging Christian and Ant Brown, although Igor has moved out of the way now, so we'll keep an eye on his delta as we go along. We've got Scott Savage and Carl Wright both improving as well at the moment. Ash Wotton, who we mentioned earlier, currently up on his delta. So we've got the end of the session. So the timer is down. So anyone who started a lap will be able to complete the lap. And this is their last chance. So they need to make it count. So we see Scott Savage. I think that's Tom Lyons behind him at the moment in the bright pink. Very 90s looking car, that one. Oh, as Scott Savage bails on his lap. Anyone else improving? Matty Johnston is slightly up, but not gaining a lot of the minute. I would imagine in the last sector he will actually start gaining quite a bit of time though. Just jump on board with Ash. Oh, he's gone wide. He was 1.1 up. He's still up at the minute. If he can just keep it going, it will push him. Where will he? He's looking probably at sort of Ryan David's time, if it is still valid. Just coming into the last turn then. One to go. Out on the curb a little bit. Might just compromise his run and grip on the exit. As he crosses the line. And he does. He overtakes Ryan David right at the death there. And that is up into 12th. Matty Johnston in behind. And Matty Johnston goes up to 4th. He does improve his lap time overall. And he will be on that second row of the grid. So, yeah, a lot of movers and shakers in that session, Ross.
Yeah, it's mixed it up a bit. It always does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see what the race brings now in terms of weather.
That's always going to be the key factor. Are we likely to see the rain again? As I say, well, there you go. There's your answer. So, yeah, straight away, we're looking at rain. And at the end of the session, it's saying it's going to get heavier with it. Oh, no, actually, sorry. It's just ticked over. It's going to get lighter rain. But, yeah, we've got no issues with mixed conditions. It is definitely going to be a wet race. So the guys can afford to just put on a full wet setup if they have one. If not, maybe look at the preset. But otherwise, a good solid session for everyone. One person I didn't mention. Can we get his... where's my onboard? Is it want to do it? Oh, I was trying to see Craig's car from the outside, but it doesn't want to do it for me. Anyway, Craig Fulton's back. Craig's come back from his posting out in the Middle East with the RAF. So, Craig, been with us from the very start, one of the original members.
Yeah, good to have him back and on the grid. We almost, if we had his son, then we'd have 3 pairs of families, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The Brookers and...
Yeah, we've got the Fultons, and yeah, we would have multiple family members from different families. But yeah, Craig, as I say, was here from the start when he was doing the Super Tourers on Assetto Corsa back in 2020.
Those were the days.
Exactly. It's a shame that AC has died out, unfortunately, with league racing for the most part. But I say we do, just whilst we've got a few minutes waiting for this race to start, yeah, we do have some sort of fun evenings going on a Wednesday at the moment. I am slowly trying to get sorted with some RF2 servers to see whether that piques any more interest with grids. We've obviously got the official BTCC content on there. Yeah, I just need to have a look when I've got a minute, hopefully, at some more of the admin side of things for running it. But I say, in the meantime, I know Tom is still doing all sorts of different bits on that. So anyone new to us watching, if AC is a little bit more up your street than ACC, then we do have that. Otherwise, I think you've taken it upon yourself, Ross, to sort of mention about Friday nights and just jumping on whatever games people want to play, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we did a poll, didn't we? And it turns out that most people who race through our Discord also enjoy other racing games as opposed to shoot 'em ups and stuff. So
Fancy that.
yeah, fancy that. So looks like we might get a bit of Wreckfest on the go and a bit of fun stuff on AC like we often do.
Yeah, I must admit, I do miss doing a little bit of Wreckfest, and especially since my rig is not available at the minute, that I can join in on a gamepad and stuff. It's always a laugh on Wreckfest. I know there's a couple other things mentioned in the poll as well, but yeah, we can certainly look into that. So yeah, that'll be Fridays as well. I'd say it'll just be a bit of a chill out really. If people are at a loose end, we'll all just jump in a voice chat and just have a chat, play some games. What I say, we'll not make it too organised. We'll just sort of decide what people want to do on the evening, go from there. Otherwise, we're back to our ACC on a Sunday. So this is round 5 of the Lamborghinis. We've got one more round of the Lamborghinis, and then we will be jumping into another series. So I think we're going to put a couple weeks break in between. Maybe do a GT4 race, maybe the Ginettas. I think the Ginetta series was really popular. I know it was a car I loved driving when we did that, so I think we maybe go with the Ginetta race, and then following week we'll do something else, some other like one make, one-off type race evening, and then I have got it organised. I just need to publish. We will be doing a GT3 championship, GT3 sprint series, similar to what we've done before, where we've got multiple formats. So it'll be a 40-40, 60-minute, 20-minute, or one sort of special. I think I've dropped 2 sort of special 90-minute races in, but yeah, no longer than 90 minutes. Most of them will be more of a sprint sort of style race, and that'll see us through sort of the autumn period.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't sim, doing a 90-minute race isn't the easiest thing in the world.
No, exactly. There's a lot to sort of go through a stint, especially at 90 minutes in the GT3 cars. It's just long enough to make people think about tyres in a pit stop, because the cars won't make the full 90 minutes on a stint, and then because of the way the tyres are designed, they pretty much are finished in terms of grip come the sort of 70-minute mark, I would say, maybe slightly earlier, it depends on the car, but yeah, there's definitely an advantage with the new tyres. But at 90 minutes, it's that balance of, do you go for a fresh set of tyres to have that extra grip and lap time, or do you risk running the older tyres, saving a bit of time in your pit stop and just hoping that you can cling on? So yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see.
Speaking of tyres, it does look like it's going to rain less over the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, I did see it's just clicked down, as you mentioned. I don't think we're going to have enough. It's still quite heavy on those clouds. The cloud symbols, you've got like the 2 layers of the raindrops, where it will go down to 1 layer of those if it was getting really light rain. So I still think we'll be absolutely fine in terms of not needing to look at changes in terms of tyres, etc. But yeah, it's probably more interesting for race 2 as Joe goes to check out the cones again, hence why he's speeding down the outside there. Oh, it did flash up one of the cones on my screen. Most of them it's ghosted through on the screen. But yeah, these guys all making their way down. There's Craig in the background taking the Grand Prix loop of the circuit on this outlap. As you see, a few of the guys will probably end up ghosting and stuff at times as well, and that's just a feature of the game. Anyone who hasn't played or not seen it before, it is just a feature on the warm-up lap that the cars will ghost into each other to prevent any incidents and any calamities before the race has even got underway. But it won't be too long before the guys will get called to move into a 2x2 formation as we get ready for a rolling start. Only rolling starts available to us on Set Corsa Competizione. No standing starts. So yeah, these guys will get the call, which it looks like they have now. It's quite early actually to call that. They've still got a couple corners to go. Can Christian do anything with Leon at the start of this race? He has got the outside line going into turn 1, so he'd need an absolutely mega start to get himself alongside to maybe try and do something into turn 2, but other than that I think he's going to be struggling, unless you think it's going to be a slipstream battle. Ross, what do we reckon?
No, I think, let's be realistic. he's gonna sod off into the distance, and the rest of them are gonna battle it out.
So we'll just jump to our helicam, ready for the start of this race.
Green light.
Oh, and Landon is out of position then, so Landon has got a drive through straight away. Christian has got a good start. He's fully alongside. Ant Brown and Matty Johnston are trying to be careful as well in the background. Christian, just about recovers the car there. The car was over-rotating and he's going to lose the drive to Ant Brown here. Ant immediately pouncing. He will have the advantage. Should he get the car stopped, he should be able to keep that position. That is Christian off the circuit again. He needs to watch that rejoin. Comes on alongside Ant Brown and then goes wide again as Matty Johnson comes through, and here comes Joe Challoner also looking to make his way through. Oh, Joe sideways over the curb. Christian all over the shot at the minute. That car really not stable, and there goes Joe round the outside. So Christian, absolutely awful start in the end, but you can see he's running a lot less aero than Joe. Joe getting absolutely monstered on the straight there. Come streaming down this back straight.
Yeah, it was all clear through the last chicane. There was no issues for anyone, so...
Sorry, Alex with a really late look down the inside of Joe. Just about backed out. Joe saw it come in, left the space, and Kyle had also got through as well on Joe. So Joe is clearly running a hell of a lot of aero compared to everyone else, because he has been absolutely munched up on the straight. He's just about recovered, and he'll be hoping that once this settles down, he can afford to just start trying to pick people off again through the corners using that extra grip that he should have. We'll just quickly look at Leon up at the front before he completely disappears off our screens. It's going to be nearly a 2-second advantage through lap 1. Let's see as they cross the line. So it is 1.8 as they cross the line, which, to be fair, it was helped by the battling, but yeah, that is an ominous sign already. I've just seen Landon, so is that Landon is taking his drive through, so he's elected to do it on the first lap. So everyone will move up a spot for now, but he should continue through. Ash Wharton just thought I'd come check out some of the guys a little bit further down at the moment. These guys still in a battle. Ash off the back of Jurovic at the minute. There he is. There's a group up ahead of him, and it's Craig Fulton that's in behind. Guys at the back kind of spread out a little bit at the moment, so just have a look how Joe's getting on then. So Joe has made his way back up past Kyle.
Just crashed into the wall, chasing that pack from 8th up.
Yes, so there is Tom trying to recover. He's got the car turned. He's looking to get it in first gear, I think, and rejoin safely. But
he just hit that rumble strip on the outside of that corner, and it just oversteered and round he went.
Yeah, absolutely deadly to hit the curbs really in these cars. As we see, Kyle has made his way back past Joe. So Joe had overtaken Kyle going into the straight as Alex is out wide on the back of the shot there. But yeah, Joe was ahead of Kyle going on to that back straight, and Kyle was nearly 2 car lengths ahead of him by the time they got to the braking point. So yeah, really, Joe really struggling with that aero package. It's obviously helping him through the corners, but I think overall it's just hindering him because he just cannot stay ahead of those cars on that back straight.
Matt Johnson's dropped off the back of Ant and is now being chased hard by Booker.
So we'll have a look at that. Yeah, 0.4, the gap between those two. So Leon, as we expect, good 9/10 quicker than everyone else. 204.1, and Ant did a 205 flat. But yeah, Matty J on a 206.3, with Christian doing a 205.7. Kyle Wright doing a 205.7 as well. So it was actually Matty J not having the best of laps, maybe just getting a little bit sideways and stuff with that car. We know, as you said earlier, Ross, he tends to just jump in about 10 minutes beforehand. He's still bloody quick when he does, but yeah, that setup not going to be ideal. We'll just stick and see if Christian is able to make a move or not. Vincent in the chat, the pink marker is fastest lap of the race, which I doubt anyone will take it off Leon. Leon is probably just going to keep that for the rest of the evening, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Fulton's trying to move.
Yeah, we're just sticking. Christian was just having a look there. We'll come back to Fulton then. Alongside Jurovic, as they go down that back straight, they'll be bouncing off the limiter. And Jurovic comes back late to the apex. Yeah, he's got a little bit sideways, and Craig still looking to make that move. He's got the tighter line, he's got the back end out, but he's managed to recover it. Jurovic on the outside, he sees Craig on the inside, he leaves him room and goes out to the outside curb, and Jurovic will have the line for the next left-hander. Craig going really wide to allow him the space, and this will continue through the next couple corners. Craig just gets the drive. Yeah, so it's good driving from both of them there, allowing each other space. Jurovic just gets it slightly wrong on the inside. Sorry, Ross, she was trying to come in there.
No, I was just saying that was great racing. You know, gave the space and had a good little battle.
Yeah, so nice and safely through, and that's also Russo through on Jurovic at the same time. Can Jurovic do anything about it? He's showing the nose and the legs to come back in. He's going to go for a late charge on the brakes, manages to get it stopped, and Russo sees him come in, goes wide to avoid. But yeah, that is a couple spots drop for Jurovic. He'll just need to recover and see if he can just follow these guys now. Did miss Christian moving up into third place, and he's already a second and a half ahead of Matty Johnston. So yeah, Matt struggling with these conditions. Ant did a 204.8 on that last lap, so Ant actually is going really quick. He's doing a really good job. He's just being made to look a little bit ordinary by Leon, but that is a cracking effort from Ant. As Jurovic has got a yellow flag against him. Oh, he's spun it going on to the back straight. He needs to be careful about that rejoin. Seems Myers going through. He's got time to get that car turned if he don't put it in the wall. And then Landon still trying to make his way back up onto the pack. See anyone else? Jan Booker is off a circuit there. Oh, that's a rejoin, but thankfully avoids Alex, as Alex makes the move then down the inside. He should have that sorted, which he does. So that is Alex up into 7th place overall and leading the Silvers. He's got Scott Savage about 2 seconds behind, and with Jan in between them now as well. So yeah, quite a comfortable gap for him at the moment. As Leon dips into the 20, well, I say dips, he's 203.4, so mid 203s, and going down to a 204.1 with Christian on a 203.9. So Christian is taking a little bit of time out of Ant, but he needs to do a little bit more than that if he's going to catch him up anytime soon. Everyone else has just about settled down for the most part. Let's just have a look again. So Joe up ahead is still challenging Kyle Wright, but I'll just jump on with these two actually. Yeah, nearly a second back now, but it'll be interesting to see what this delta's going to be come the end of that straight. So it's already climbed up. We're up to 0.4 of a second. 0.5. There's half a second already. 0.6, 0.7. Yeah, so that 7 to 8 tenths Joe lost purely on that straight because of the aeros running. So yeah, less than ideal, Ross.
Yeah, not ideal at all. Same problem I had last week. Just a bit of medium aero, and then suddenly everyone's passing you like you stood still.
Yeah, so just seen Craig has managed to make his way back past Mario Russo, so these two are having a good battle. I'm guessing Mario might have had a little bit of an instance. Craig is drifting that Lambo through the right hand turn, so again Craig clearly not with an optimal setting on that car. It's very sideways a few times when we've looked at him, but has managed to make his way into 11th place. He's quite a way off the back of Ashwatton though, so Ashwatton had a sensible race. He's 7 seconds off the back of Scott Savage. He's 6 seconds ahead of Craig. It's a bit lonely for him, but as we said earlier on in the night, he's kept himself out of trouble. There doesn't appear to be any damage on that Lamborghini that I can see, and he's just driving nicely and picking up those points.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, that is 3rd place in class as well for Ashwatton, so I'll be happy with that. I mean, to be fair, there's only 4 this evening, but Ash has been in and around those podium positions in the silver class all series, and hence why he's in the sort of podium positions overall in the championship. So yeah, doing a good job with that one. He's also pretty much matching the times of Scott ahead of him, and Scott, who got podiums in Misano, so we know how quick Scott can be. It's a good effort. So just trying to see anyone else we should be looking at. Everyone unfortunately is kind of spread out about a bit, which it can happen.
Myers, probably the closest 2 cars.
Yeah, I think just looking between Alex and Jan, and then as you say Glenn Savage and Nick Myers. Oh, Craig Fulton's got a yellow flag against him. I'm guessing he went wide because he's not lost position. Doesn't appear to have lost too much time, so I think Craig has run wide at some point there. Yeah, Jan trying to make his way back past Alex as he's a little bit late on the brakes there. Misses the apex of the corner and will cost himself a little bit of time. I've just seen Matty Johnston setting a personal best as well, and he's found his pace. He's up to a 2:04.1, so now matching the sort of times that Ant and Christian are doing up ahead of him. So whatever he's done,
practice out the way at the start of the race.
yeah, and now he's going to start pressing on. Leon is absolutely flying. It's 2:03 flats at the head of the field. So yeah, no one is going to be touching him, I don't think, unless he makes a mistake. And you can see in the Grid Finder racing car with the Grid Finder colours there, the orange with the black. It's nearly a 7-second lead at the moment. There is Ant and Christian at the top of the shot behind him, but that car looking pretty solid, it must be said. It doesn't look to be too edgy. It's staying quite planted. Yet that would be the corner to show it, but yeah, looking very planted and driving superb as always.
So Matty J is getting closer already.
So he is 2.5 off the back of Christian, so we'll just check what their lap times are when they come through. I just thought I'd come and give Glenn and Nick a little bit of airtime, because apart from Alex, they are the closest on the circuit. So it's 2:02.9 from Leon, so another fastest lap of the race for him. So Ant will make his way through. Ant did a 2:05.3, so it was a slow lap from Ant. Christian did a 2:04.5. Matty Johnston matching that, so he hasn't gained on Christian ahead of him. Obviously hasn't lost any further time. Christian, though, has gained about 8 tenths on Ant, so he's getting closer.
We are halfway through. Keep it up.
And there you go. We are halfway into this race. So we've got another roughly 7 laps to go as these two are getting closer. Nick backing out early there on Glenn. This is for 4th place in the AM class. It's 14th overall. Yeah, you got Andy Benton and Mario Russo ahead of these guys, and also ahead in the class.
Just takes one slip up though, and then suddenly you're on the podium, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. That's why we like to run the different classes as well, because obviously you've got such a vast range of skill levels across the guys, and not necessarily just skill, the experience as well. Those that have been racing for a while, those that haven't. As Andy Benton gets up past who has dropped? Oh, it's Mario. Mario is back in the pits, so he must have come into strife. Let's see if we've got a replay. I think that is a long time back. Oh, that's a car wide. I think this is from a long time back. Yeah, so it's not that incident. That is an old incident that we're looking at. So, yeah, Mario must have just got it wrong on his own, and he's had to jump back to the pits because of damage. So, yeah, that's allowed Andy Benton to move up into 2nd place in the AM class. Just so I was talking about the differences, but yeah, as always. But yeah, as I was just saying, you know, we run these different classes to try and give everyone some competitive racing. So, okay, you might not be up there with Leon and Ant Brown and stuff at the head of the field, but there's no reason why you can't be racing in the mid-pack, but racing for your class victories, and you can still get the bragging rights from those. So, yeah, we do like to try and cater for everyone and push everyone along as we go. And I think we've obviously highlighted him a couple of times this evening, but Ash Wotton is a good example of that. Ash coming to us, no previous experience really of any sims, well, no experience of sim games anyway, and you know, not being a massive motorsport fan all his life. He's come to the party late, but he's joined us in AM, and his skill over the last year or so has obviously improved greatly to where he's now running 3rd in our silver category. So yeah, time is ticking down. Just having a look as Alex McGee has made his way past Joe Challoner. So Joe looking to attack immediately. We'll just come back and just see what's happened here then. Joe's had... I wonder if Joe's lost it going on to that back straight, because he's suddenly lost a hell of a lot of time.
Oh, contact. A little bit of contact on the front end. Joe's back in the front.
We will try and see a replay of that as well then, as end up having a look at this replay. We'll get back to a live shot in a second. Yeah, there is Joe. So possible contact between these cars. Let's have a quick look at the replay as Alex has gone wide. Yeah, I mean, Joe was there. Alex ran wide. Joe was fully alongside going into the corner. And now it's just sort of turned into Joe there. So Joe regaining that position off Alex. Well, if Alex can just stay with him through these first few turns, Joe is going to be vulnerable on that back straight. We did see, even with the slipstream, that he lost sort of 6 or 7 tenths on Kyle Wright earlier on that back straight. There is Alex. So he's just got to get through these couple corners, get a bit of a drive. He's going to naturally have more speed than him anyway. And then he's going to have a bit of slipstream as well as Joe's gone wide. I think he's compromised his run a little bit. Let's see how close the Alex and Jan can get behind him then, as Joe probably will start weaving, I would imagine. He's defended early anyway. He's on that inside line. To go through the puddles. Here they come. They're going to hit the limiter very soon. And that's Alex up alongside. He should be through. Can he get the car stopped and keep it on the circuit? Certainly does. And that is that move made. He's going to defend now as much as he can. Joe tries to stick a nose down the inside. Alex leaves the room. Oh, and Joe...
pieces here, isn't he?
Yeah, we're waiting for that to happen. Joe actually just lost the rear, getting on the power, coming out of the right hand, the long right hand corner there, and that has allowed Alex to stay ahead. This is not good news for Joe, who really needs to make his ground up through these corners. Alex should be able to defend this position quite easily for now. Oh, as he gets it wrong, a little bit deep. But we'll have that straight line advantage now as they go into the first sector. I think Christian's just cut across the circuit a bit there. The gap suddenly shot down and he was ahead of Ant Brand. Oh, as Joe nearly goes into the back of Alex. Just about recovered. He obviously straightened up there, Ross, to make sure he didn't make the contact.
Yeah, I thought you might exit stage right there and just cut across to avoid any potential crashes, but fair play.
Yeah, so just straightened up and managed to avoid that contact, but he will be under pressure then from Jan. And Scott Savage is coming back into play here as well, with these guys all messing about up ahead of him. He's only a second off the back, so even he could be looking to make a move further up. We have lost a driver, unfortunately, as well. Didn't see who that was. So I think it's Ash Wotton. I think Ash Wotton has gone. Yeah, Ash Wotton has got a PC issue. I've just had a message off of him. So, that is absolutely dreadful for him. As we've seen Jan make his way up past Joe. Can Joe fight back immediately again? He's going to need to if he wants to keep this spot. Jan leaves the space on the inside. And Joe retaining that spot for now. Yeah, that is desperately bad luck for Ash there. Say running inside that top 10, 10th place, and then 3rd in class. So yeah, it looks like he's got an issue that needs help with at some point. So yeah, we'll try and find out a bit more about that at a later stage, as there's a drive-through for Tom Lyons. So not only having the incident earlier, he's obviously found out what the track limits are like around this circuit. Andy Benton recovering, sorry, just saw the yellow flag. I think he's been in the wall. There's a bit of damage on the front of that car. He's just about recovered and he's still kept 11th place for now. As Glenn Savage as well is backwards, so Glenn will just have a quick look. I think just losing it Is the back end going to step out on him? Or he's just touched the blue paint and it's sent the car round? So a bit of a battle at the back here. This is Landon and Igor. So Landon making his way back up the grid then. So after having that drive-through on, which he took on lap 1, he's managed to get himself back up into 13th place. So as we was talking earlier, it's pays dividends just to stay on the circuit and just keep the car running. You will gain some spots. It's pretty much guaranteed every time. So yeah, he's managed to make a move and get himself a few places. So he's done well there.
And Christian are reasonably close now, with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, just see that gap on the Deltas at a second. So yeah, those guys running strong. If I see the gap come down any further, we'll focus on those guys. I just wanted to keep an eye on these two for now as Joe tries to send one down the inside at the final hairpin. Alex again saw Joe come in, left in a bit of space. He had to turn out of it a bit late, but left in the space. It's just such a difficult challenge for Joe to do, with having such a disadvantage on that straight. He's having to make it all up in the corners and try and get himself ahead. Ideally, he wants to be ahead some point in that last sector, and then he's potentially got a chance to try and build up a gap by the time they get onto that back straight, but it's certainly easier said than done. And Alex can afford to just park the car on the apex, back Joe up into the traffic behind him, and simply drive away as they come onto this back straight.
Through his setup, he's actually killed off his special move, isn't he? Which is sending it at the end of big straights.
Oh, you said that, not me. I will stay impartial on this one, Ross. Yeah, you can see even with that slipstream, so Joe right up behind under that wing as they started the back straight, and he's still lost a good 4-5 tenths. So yeah, less than ideal that setup. Gap between Christian and Ant is
larger.
Yeah. No, the gap up front. Not a battle, Tom, unfortunately. Leon has absolutely left. You misread it. Yeah, I'd say Leon has left the building. He is gone. This is the biggest battle on the circuit. Landon and Nick Myers are close as well, so Landon looking to make another place, but Alex defending like crazy. We're going to have 2 laps to get this finished off. Yeah, just seen Ash in the chat as well saying about him not racing for the foreseeable. It looks like he's had quite a big hardware issue, so yeah, that is really bad for him. Yeah, I hope we can we'll probably try and sort something through the Discord on that, Ash, as well. We'll maybe see if anyone can get talk you through it, get some advice to you, and maybe try and get it sorted out again. But yeah, it's not looking good. Just seen one of the other drivers we lost was Ryan David as well, so he had a computer crash as well, so everyone's having computer crashing issues at the minute.
Oh no, I'll get back online for the second race, Ryan, if we can.
So so Leon is not going to be far from starting his last lap. Joe is going to be defending like crazy. Kyle Wright was a yellow flag there. Oh, Jan goes to the inside. He had the car alongside in on the brakes. Joe having to turn out of it. And Jan does get that car stopped, and he does make that position as Leon is onto the final lap. Sorry, I was just looking. Andy Benson's got a drive through, so Andy absolutely comfortable in second place in the AM class there, driving on his own. He he's unfortunately taken too many track limits and has got himself a penalty, so he probably will just drive to the end and take the penalty at the end, because it'll just add 30 seconds or so onto his time, so I'm sure he'll just end up doing that.
He's going to still finish on the podium, is it?
I think it's going to be close. He's got Jurovic, sort of about 27 seconds behind as Russo comes out the pit. Yeah, we'll just keep an eye. The battle on the screen. I will cut back to Leon at some point. Yeah, Joe trying to fend off. He's getting closer to Jan ahead of him, but I don't think he's going to be able to do about it. Oh, as Jan gets it wrong on the curve, so just to say that, Joe manages to find a way through, but as we've seen throughout this race, Jan is probably just going to drive straight past him. Joe immediately starts to make some moves down that back straight. Probably making a...
Can you make?
Yeah, it's probably a few too many from Joe there. There was about 4 different moves we saw, but Jan, even without the weaving, is just driven past Joe with ease. So, providing he gets that car slowed down and under control, he looks to defend straight away. So Leon will just chump, has won this race, as Joe and Jan did swap positions there, but it has settled itself back round. So yeah, we will come back up for Ant, who comes home in second place ahead of Christian, and then Matty Johnston out the final corner. Carl Wright in 5th place, lonely 5th place, driven quite nicely. Alex in 6th, and your winner of silver. Oh, so there's Jan, there is Joe. I think Joe is, Joe's let Jan keep that position. We'll have a quick look, shall we? Let's
gentlemanly nudge.
See what...
Oh, red flags are being waved at the start finish line.
Yeah, that was a late move by Joe, so I'm not surprised he's let the Jan carry on with that. But yeah, so we've actually got quite a gap back to Craig. So Craig, on his return, will take 9th overall. Unfortunately lost another driver. We're down to 16 through the final corner. Who else we're waiting for? We're waiting for Landon. We've got Andy Benson, Nick Myers, Igor and Tom Lyons all to complete their laps. I think Andy Benson, we're just coming into the final hairpin, so even with the drive-through, Andy Benson will be finishing on the podium in the AM class. We'll just have the 2 guys left to cross the line. That's Jurovic. Mario Russo is already in the pits, so the server will time him out. And that will be the conclusion of race 1. So a lot to unpack there, Ross, I think.
It was a busy race, wasn't it? There were some packs of cars there that were battling quite nicely.
Yeah, it seemed to settle down initially. I was worried we were going to end up just with a grid of cars all separated from each other, but that mid-pack managed to come back together and provide us with the entertainment that we needed.
That's right. That's right. We'll see what the weather brings now, hey?
Yeah, let's see if it continues to rain, whether it decides to dry out a little bit and throw in another challenge. But yeah, so we're just having a look. Yeah, Ash, he's got blue screen of death, so yeah, his computer is yeah, kaput, which is not good at all. So yeah, just looking through the chat for that is yeah, it's actually difficult to say. We've just been mentioning how well Ash had been doing and how much he's improved, and he commented there as well, saying just when he was starting to get a little bit more competitive, he's had this issue. So yeah, it's bad luck for him on that one. All I can say though is Ash, is if you sell your PS5, you've got a bit of money to spend on your PC. So yeah, just saying. PC Master Race.
Until they go wrong.
Until they go wrong, yeah.
Expense.
But yeah, also Amy, my dear wife, suggesting that he try and claim a gaming laptop back on expenses from work, which if Ash manages to do that, then I want one as well. So
haven't we all done that?
No, unfortunately, our company won't do that. But yeah, if we were self-employed, that might be different.
No comment.
So we do indeed have some mixed conditions for this race. We are started dry, and it is currently saying in 10 minutes time it will be wet and it will get wetter. However, given that that timer will have already started, so there's going to be 5 minutes knocked off of that straight away, plus then the warm-up lap. So in my if I was in their shoes, I would be going with a full wet setup, and I think people would be silly not to. Actually, I'm saying this, it does say wet on the actual track data. So yeah, it is a wet circuit then, but with no rain at the minute. So actually, it's a little disappointing. I was thinking, oh, we've got a nice dry track. Yeah, it looks, yeah, a few puddles, but it doesn't look that wet. You can see a little bit actually on a couple of the other. Let's have a look on a bumper.
Tyre pressures, isn't it? You know, if you can aim for a tyre pressure that's going to be suitable later in the race, then you might be better off than someone who's, setting a tyre pressure for right now.
Yeah, exactly. Thing is, the weather system is clearly telling you that it's going to get wetter, so you want to have your tyre pressures. They're going to be high initially, but it will come down. So yeah. Yeah, the so Tom just commented in the chats as well, saying about all the drivers removing their rear wings after seeing Joe. So yeah, I would imagine there's a few guys lowering a couple of clicks, especially Joe.
Hi Tom, where are you at?
Yeah, I think Tom was having to pick up Sophie and stuff on, so he was obviously late getting back. So
Of course, you gotta get your priorities right, bud.
yeah. Yeah, I think Tom is asking if there's any way of you increasing your microphone volume, Ross. So
yeah, I could put it closer to my face as well.
There you go. Ash had zero wing, so yeah, it seems that most of the guys were running zero wing then, I would imagine. So the car obviously not too bad then, like it's obviously still drivable even with such a low downforce setting.
It's not a terrible car to drive, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually, obviously you've done a few of the rounds and decided you didn't want to race Paul Ricard, so yeah. But
Yeah, no, it's a nice car. It's always nice to race all in the same car because it often provides closer racing, doesn't it?
yeah, we like our cup cars at Slip and Grip. We try to be a bit different. I know I'm being hypocritical. Oh, here comes the rain then. So the rain has started, and yeah, we are going into a GT3 series to be a little bit hypocritical, but I say we do normally run a cup series as well, so we tend to alternate between a cup series or maybe a GT4 series and then a GT3 series, just to try and break it up a little bit, so otherwise it just becomes monotonous, and you know, everyone does a GT3 league. It's nice to have something a little bit different to offer drivers, which it did seem to work at the start of the series. We had a massive grid, 30 odd cars on the circuit. Unfortunately, that has sort of slowly dwindled down, but never mind, we will press on, and hopefully when we get the GT3s out, there'll be a few guys come and join us again for that, and hopefully if we have some good race and that, they stick around and carry on with whatever series we decide to run. So as I say, the wet circuit the rain has started on what is already a wet circuit, but it is just going to help those guys and make sure that they aren't burning up those tyres ahead at the start of the race.
Yeah, you probably don't want to be doing any tyre warming, do you, really? You know, they're going to probably be up to temp pretty quick as it is.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be fairly straightforward. I think the only thing these cars, if I'm right, Ross, they don't have any tyre blankets, so they start from dead cold pressure.
Yeah, from what I remember, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I think especially the length of the lap as well, yeah, it probably won't take too much time to get them tyres up somewhere in the working window where they need to be. We see Andy Benton flying down the outside of the circuit there, no doubt taking out all those cones for everyone. And he waits to get back in position again. So yeah, Josh in the chat as well. Good to see you, Josh. Hope your first day or so back at work on the ship is not too painful for you. But yeah, as Thomas pointed out, standard Leon just drove off into the distance. Ant Brown in second from Christian, and then Matty Johnston. Joe was struggling big time. So Joe qualifying fifth, but he struggled big time because he ran aero on that car. He ran quite a bit of downforce on the rear and was getting absolutely monstered on the straights by everyone. So yeah, Joe, I imagine this time through will be running a lot less aero and probably retaining his position a little bit easier. But now, I'm going to say now, Ross, he'll have the other side of it where he's got to, I was going to say, try and keep it in a straight, keep it on the tarmac through the corners.
Yeah, you'll be all good. We know Joe. He's a wily fox, isn't he?
Yeah, obviously Joe as well, another one of our long-term members, as the guys then have had the call to get formed up into formation 2x2. Yeah, Tom commenting that it's a completely different bounce for Joe. So we will keep an eye on him. We'll get on the helicam nice and early and ready. So Ash commenting that he actually likes the rain now. I say when just Sue's having a good run. We shall see what happens. Tom Lyons as well, I haven't mentioned him. He obviously had that spin early on in race 1 after qualifying in 4th. So Tom has got some pace. Let's see if he can keep it on the track this time and join in at the front. Yeah, the 90s Dayglow car, as I want to call it.
Green light. Go, go, go.
And that is a really good start from Christian, actually. It looked as though he was out of place, or Leon was maybe not making the most of his positioning, but Christian is up ahead. Can he get the car turned in? He does. He goes straight for that apex. And Tom loses multiple positions, but Leon has been overtaken into turn 1. Something we've not seen pretty much at all.
We're all clean through.
Yeah, everyone behaving themselves right now. Jorovic is in the pits. I didn't see that. He must have started from the pits, I guess. Christian making his way through. Let's see what happens on this back straight then. Can Leon get the slipstream and make the move early? We know he's got the pace overall. Jan has made his way up past Landon. Just going to stick with these guys just for now. See what happens with slipstream.
I did notice Leon seemed to have a little bit of wing on compared to others.
Yeah, so in the slipstream he is just about gaining, I think, but not a lot. So yeah, must be running a little bit of downforce on that car as Christian looking nervous going into the right-hand turn. Leon all out on the exit. Definitely got a bit more grip there. As we go and just have a look at some of the guys. Oh, I will look away. Leon thinks about the move. Thinks about it, sends it down the inside. Christian left in the room. Can Christian do anything from this position? Leon has got the inside line through this left-hander. Christian needs to try and get himself back alongside. Going into the last corner, he tries to send it down the inside. Leon leaves the room. He will have a better exit. And he has got himself back up into the lead of this race. Christian immediately tucking in behind. He goes to the inside. Leon elects not to defend that heavily, actually. Is he going to try and just outdo him on the brakes? Does. And that is Leon safely back into the lead of this race then. Excuse me. And then Ant Brown now will be wanting to maybe have a look at Christian. Everyone running through okay at the moment. Obviously the gap's still fairly small. We'll just keep him with the leaders for now. Come out of the helicam. Everyone in a line there back to Carl Wright. And there's a little bit of a gap to Jan Booker in 8th place.
I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, he pulls out the slipstream and on that back straight. Has he got enough momentum to keep it going? He's just slightly ahead. I'm screaming into this right-hand turn. Oh, and just about gets that done. I think Christian was going wide. He sort of left his braking maybe a tad late as Tom Lyons, it looked like, was trying to make a move on Joe. Didn't quite get it pulled off. And that is Kyle Wright down the inside of Alex McGee as well. So it's all happening up at the front. As we suspected though, Ross Joe clearly running a lot less aero this time through and not losing them positions.
He's not having a problem down the straight now, is he? He's quite happy.
Yeah, not losing it through the corners as well. So he's obviously lowered that wing. I'm guessing he's made some other adjustments as well, but he doesn't appear to be struggling through the twisty section as well. So it's a pretty well balanced car there. He's done a good job with those last minute settings.
Yeah, it does look pretty well planted in the wet, doesn't it? See if you can hold off the other 3 cars behind him now. He's got a bit of a gap. Maybe they'll fight it out between them, and he can get some meters ahead. But he didn't look too great through that chicane then, did he?
No, all over the curb, and there is Tom Lyons right behind him. So I think Ant and Christian up ahead, and maybe going to have a slipstream battle again as well. I'll keep an eye on that delta. Let's just see what's happening here with Joe and Tom. Tom is just starting to close in. Here he comes. So that slipstream working nicely. But Joe, with enough of an advantage going on to that back straight, just means he can keep hold of that position. The car just dancing on the exit as they go over that curb. A little bit sideways there, but not too bad at all. Some of the other positions a bit lower down, just starting to settle down a little bit. So it is all about this battle for 4th place.
Russo to Fulton's getting closer, so it's a pack that could potentially get together.
Yes, that's mostly AM drivers in that section. Craig down as a pro driver. But Craig in his last series with us did win the silvers, so that's why he's in the pros. But as we've said, he's been away for several months. Oh, is Kyle Wright then will get a run on Tom Lyons? Will he think about it? It should be... No, he elects and backs out of that. I thought... as Tom actually goes a little bit deeper, I was going to say Kyle looked like he was just backing out the move there, thinking it was going to be a bit late, but Tom getting a little bit wrong, going out over the curb, and that's just allowed Kyle to take an easy pass. And now Alex McGee is going to be threatening Tom down this back straight. Just have a look. Should we go on board? With Alex, you can see all the spray and just how bad the conditions are. Not gaining anything though at the minute, Alex. So Alex is clearly running a little bit of aero on that car. Tom actually pulling away slightly, using the slipstream of Kyle's car. So it's kept him safe at the moment.
I think they're all catching Joe, aren't they?
So where is Joe in 4th? So let's have a look at the lap times this next time through then. But yes, you might be right there that now that Kyle's got up ahead of Tom, he'll start to just close in that gap and restart this battle for 4th place overall. Went into this last section then. Just jump to the other camera set to see what is going on. So yes, 2:05.7 from Joe, and it's 2:05.4 from Kyle Wright, so he was a few tenths quicker. So what can Kyle do this time through? If he can gain another tenth or two through this first sector, he's going to be getting ever so close come the end of that back straight, I would imagine. It's a good start to the sector for Joe, actually. That gap has just increased slightly on my timing screen. Ant still holding on to 2nd place and got about a second on Christian. So Christian not able to close in any closer. Tom Lyons. In Alex McGee. Tom Lyons has definitely gone though. Let's have a look. Has he made the same mistake as he made in race 1? The back end's just going to step out. He's on the curb. And yeah, just no grip at all. And it's just sent that car into the barriers. And I think Tom has actually quit now. So Tom... Yeah, so unfortunate. Say, just lost the rear of the car going through the left-hander. Clipped that curb and it was enough just to send it round. Nothing he could do about it. As Andy continues in 2nd place in the AM class then. He's got Mario Russo and Craig behind him. Craig trying to make his way past Mario. Not able to find the gap at the moment. So unfortunately, with well, we will see Kyle and Joe battling. I was going to say with
7th and 8th are at it, side by side, going up the pit straight.
Yes, there we go. To Scott and Jan. Can Scott make a move? He's probably going to have to tuck back in for now, but he's going to be looking handy for the back straight again. Same with Kyle on Joe Challoner. So those guys sticking close to one another. Let's have a look as they come through this section, and not really losing too much time to Christian up ahead. So Joe doing a decent job overall with his lap time. Say Leon has pretty much disappeared again. So what can Kyle do this time through? Kyle 0.4 of a second behind on the start of the straight, and he's gonna start closing in, you would imagine. Joe is defending early. Oh, Kyle's got it wrong. He's on the curb and on the puddles. He's spun out. So that's going to be a big one as he kept it out of the wall. I think he's kept it out of the wall, but yeah, he is gone. And I wonder if he's going to go back to the pits.
He just nudged the barrier. I wouldn't have thought it was too much damage.
Let's have a look. Yeah, he just spun out and he's just gone into the barrier. So yeah, Kyle back to the pits, and unfortunately I think that'll be him out of this race. So Joe lives to fight on. I say he defended that inside line early, Ross, but Kyle just trying to use a bit too much of the curb and stuff on the inside, I think.
Thing with the wet, isn't it, is you know, that's two people that would usually be around the top 5 that have been out in the last 2 laps, so just got to keep it consistent.
Yeah, I think just avoid the curbs and avoid the paint. But yeah, it just looked like...
A lot of it here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it just looked like the car aquaplaned on a few puddles, if anything. You saw, just as we jumped on board, you could hear the puddles as he was going through, and I think it just aquaplaned a little bit, sent him onto the paint, and obviously it was enough to just send the car around.
Yeah, it wasn't a normal place to lose it, was it, really?
No, not at all. No, you don't expect the drivers to lose it on the straight, but it shows just how tricky that these conditions are. So Scott, and Jan, we're up alongside each other. I wonder if Scott's actually made a bit of a mistake there, because he's got his lap time is showing up in red, which means track limits. So I wonder if he was just allowing Jan to make his way back past, and we'll try to fight with him again going on this lap. But yeah, unfortunately most of the field has actually sort of settled down and spread out a bit again. There's some fairly substantial gaps between all the drivers, so hopefully these guys do start to maybe just trip up or make a mistake and close in again and give us something to watch. Oh, just seeing Kyle. Oh yeah, Kyle in the chat. His wheelbase disconnected. It is something he's been having an issue with, so obviously that is coming to curse him again. Such a shame for Kyle. As I say, he was running well and was looking to challenge Joe. It was looking like it was going to be a good battle between them two. Yeah, Ash, just because we've got Scott on the screen, Ash is just said in the chat as well that he's credited Scott for his improvement at the minute, because I know Ash sort of introduced Scott and Glenn to our group. Scott being a bit more of a experienced sim racing stuff than Ash, and yeah, has obviously been helping his mate in getting up to speed and improving overall.
What it's all about, get your mates in, get them involved as well.
Exactly, spread the word, everyone, and let's pack these grids up again. Chris, sorry.
I was say it's winter time soon, isn't it? So hopefully that'll pick things up.
Yeah, 100%. We just obviously need numbers to join. We had the numbers join at the start of this series, which was great to see. Unfortunately, we've lost a few of those guys. for whatever reasons. But yeah, it'd be nice to hopefully some of these guys that have joined us and have stuck around continue to do so as we move forward, because yeah, it's obviously always great to see a nice big pack grid, and especially when we've got guys using the custom liveries and stuff as well. We love a good custom livery. So yeah, we'll see how we get on as we move forward. These we've lost another driver now, so we're down to 13 at the minute. It's not been a good evening for a few, and Jan and Scott are the closest battle on the grid by quite some margin. See Chris Rock as well saying it's time for Kyle to upgrade, and I would agree as Jan gets very, very sideways there. Just about gathers the car though before Scott is able to do anything about it. These two fighting for pride as much as anything. They're 6th place overall, but they're in different classes. So Scott is 2nd in the silvers and Jan is leading the AM class, so Jan can actually afford to just let Scott go if he wanted to. But I'm sure he'd rather just battle it out and have a proper race.
Yeah, I mean, you race for the overall as well as your class, don't you?
Yeah.
That's it's another challenge to be had within a race.
Yeah, it's always nice to try and get one up over a class ahead of you. And
Underdog. The British love an underdog.
We always love an underdog. So yeah, Jan a little bit wide again as Scott going to get an advantage. He's definitely closed in on the Delta. Not the greatest of camera sets to see that. But yeah, Scott applying the pressure again. There we go. Through onto the back straight. So can Scott use the slipstream to good effect? We'll see how close he can get. Delta not improving in his favour at the moment as Andy Benton's had a moment, so Andy losing positions and time. Will get that recovered. Oh no, he's gone too much happy pedal there and sent it round again. Has he done the same as Tom Lyons? He has. He's just thankful that it's kept out the barriers. He's got away with it, but he has lost a couple positions through doing that.
The blue stuff and they've closed back up again. He had a bit of a gap on him then, and then suddenly he was back on the blue stuff. I don't know what to call that. It's only Yas Marina that has that, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, off the top of my head, it's yeah, I think it's like the gritted paint, isn't it? If I remember correctly, it's yeah, it's obviously got some sort of additive in it to actually give some grip, and it helps slow the cars down. It's obviously been it was an experimental circuit for Formula 1 for quite a lot of years, where they were testing multiple different devices, and I know Bernie Eccleston at the time was coming out with his sprinkler systems, etc. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, it has actually got some like additives and that mixed into that to actually give some grip, so when they do go off circuit, they've got all the runoff in the world plus some added grip from that surface. So just see Nick Myers has lost a position. I think, I just catch the end of him spinning out of the last corner on the replay. So Andy making his way back up. Yeah, Tom just confirming in the chat as well that blue has got a mild adhesive and the red is a harsh abrasive. So obviously different levels.
Workshop floor paint.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So we will actually, I'm looking at, and we need to show Leon off, I suppose, since he's got an 8-second advantage on everyone. So we're into the final 10 minutes of this race, and just cruising up at the front, comfortably the quickest car, and yeah, just showing his class yet again. And that'll be 8 out of 8 for him if he just keeps it on the road. So Ant Brown in a lonely race. Christian's had a poor last lap. He did a 2-minute 10 on the last lap, Christian, so he's lost a lot of time to Ant as well. So he is in 3rd place, and he's only just ahead of Joe actually. So Joe
creeping up, isn't he? He's creeping up.
Yeah, he's less than a second behind. Oh, there's a drive-through for Landon, so he's fallen victim to the track cut penalties, and I bet it's through either turn 1 or turn 2 that he's done that. So yeah, can Joe now do anything with Christian? Obviously Christian had that slow lap, and it was a slower lap again for Christian on that last one. He was a second slower than Ant. I think they're all just losing a little bit of time overall, but yeah, can Joe start to put a challenge in for 3rd? As Landon comes into the pits, then he will serve that drive-through. Yep, there he goes. That's Mario through and into 9th place, 2nd in the AMS. It's Joe, 0.6 of a second off the back of Christian according to my Delta. How much will that car close? Car's screaming along. Joe, half a second off the back. He is gaining ever so slightly, but not a great deal. So Christian should be safe for now. Yeah, and there's Alex McGee in the back as well. So if these two do actually close up and start to battle, Alex will start to close in as well and make it a 3-way dice for the podium. Myers with a yellow flag, but he seems to have got it under control and continued on. The Landon is fed out into 11th place after his drive-through. We'll just check these times and that as they come through again. I would imagine fairly similar. Joe a couple tenths quicker again that time through. So yeah, getting help with the start line. Has Andy got it wrong again? So where's Andy lost it? He's lost it coming out the long right-hander actually off the back straight. So I'm guessing just a spin, and he's got Landon coming back at him. We'll just jump back to this battle between Christian and Joe then. What can Joe do? That's slightly wide on the apex for Christian, so not ideal. Joe looking to keep the car nice and tidy. He's holding a nice tight line. He should have a good advantage coming onto this back straight, Ross.
He's looking good. I think this is going to be a 3-way battle at the end. These guys are going to slow each other down now.
Yeah, so Alex matched them last time through, but it's only 1.4 off the back of these guys now. You see Joe with a flash of the lights. He's there, he's gaining ever so slightly. It's not enough to get alongside at the moment.
It's not a tight corner at the end of that straight, is it? So it's not like you can brake later than the other guy.
Oh, has Christian's gone wide? Has he gone too wide? He has, and that is Joe up and through onto the podium then. With only 5 minutes of this race to go, that is a late change of position. So what can Joe do now? Can he defend that position from Christian? And Alex is less than a second off the back of Christian as well now. So, as you quite rightly pointed out, Ross, this is turning into a 3-way battle for that final step on the podium. Andy Benton and Landon are battling for position as well. There's Alex trying to make a late apex, it looked there to me, to try and get that run on the start finish straight. But it's been a good sector for Joe. That final sector, that delta has gone right up as soon as I say it. Joe is off the circuit and rejoins ahead of Christian. Now, as he gained an advantage there, looks like he's maybe gained a little bit of time. Whether he just backs out a little bit, we'll see. Yeah, I think.
Is he going to struggle up the straight just a little bit again?
I think he's just backed off a little bit there to make sure he didn't gain an advantage through the first chicane going off it. So, but yeah, as you say, is he going to struggle? Christian definitely running less aero than Joe. He's streaking up to the back of that car, and he will pull out early. Oh, as Joe is on the. Oh, it looked like he was aquaplaning. He was over the bumps. The car was fully sideways. He managed to recover it. But he's lost that position to Christian anyway. And Christian retakes third place in this race. Alex, a little bit sideways in the background. Also wanting to try and capitalise on any mistakes that might happen ahead of him. What can Joe do through the twisty section again then? Say that car looking a bit more stable through this section. We're looking at a couple laps to go then. As Joe has got it completely wrong on the brakes. He's out wide. He's on the rumble strips. And then that is Alex taking that position away from him then. And Alex moving up into fourth. They've both actually just lost a bit of time to Christian now. So I think Christian will be safe, barring a mistake from his side. And the battle now will be for fourth overall. As Joe comes late on the brakes, Alex has to turn out the move. It's a bit of a lunge from Joe, it has to be said. And indeed, he's actually driven off as well. So Alex does have the silver lead, Ross, and I'm guessing he's probably not going to want to risk that too much.
Yeah, that's a fair point, to be honest. He's probably looked at the clock and thought, oh, I'm just going to cruise it to the finish now.
Yeah, 0.8 off the back of Joe. We'll see what he does on this back straight. I think Alex, from what I was looking at earlier as well, I don't think he's running the lowest of downforce setups either, so I would imagine it's going to be fairly even between himself and Joe on this back straight, which is what the delta is showing me at the minute. Ash is just pointing out that Scott is in front of Jan, which he is. He's nearly 3 seconds ahead of him. So Jan's had a bit of a mishap by the looks of it. Oh, Mario Russo and Andy Benton, both with a yellow flag there against the names, but they seem to have recovered. As Alex was showing a nose. Not able to get anything done this time through.
Yeah, maybe we're talking absolute rubbish. He actually looks like he still wants to get past, doesn't he?
Oh, they all want to beat each other. That's how it is. Oh, as Joe has gone wide again. Through that section, there comes Alex. Tries to get himself down the inside. Not quite able to get the run, as Andy Benton's got a drive through now, so that is going to push him. He'll fall behind Nick Myers. I think he'll stay ahead of Glenn Savage as Alex tries to move into the final corner. Craig's had a bit of a mishap as well. I think that's the right-hander off the back of the straight. The car just looping round on him but staying out the barriers. So Craig doing a good job there, actually just spinning the car around quickly. Landon and Mario Russo in the background as well has had an issue. We'll have another quick replay, just see if he's done it on his own. Yeah, and see the back end just stepping out on him and just struggled to correct that. So let's hopefully the replay will finish just in time to see these two guys go onto the back straight then for the final time. And can Alex do anything about it? I don't think he's close enough personally.
Leon's just finished on the back straight and heading round for the last sector.
Yeah, Leon dominant, another plus 10 seconds for him in the series. I'm saying just showing just how quick he is as a driver, and Ant Brown and Christian behind him are no slouches at all. They are quick drivers. Yeah, Leon just in another league. Joe looks to have got this wrapped up again now, so we will just cut back and have a quick look at Leon then as he rounds the final corner. Oh, as I say that, Joe has just changed position, so there is Leon. What has happened to Joe? There he is in the background. He's lost that position. Let's have a look. Oh, Joe's just done it as well, gone on the paint on the outside and looped the car round. Oh, and then as he's tried to get going, he has donutted it as well, so it's a disaster for Joe on the final lap. So Ant Brown now finishes ahead of Christian. Then Alex inheriting that 4th position back off of Joe. Easy as you like, and taking the silver class victory at the same time. Joe will keep hold of 5th spot ahead of Scott Savage, who takes 2nd in the silvers and 6th overall ahead of Jan Booker. And then we've got a big gap back to Craig, who is in 8th place, who's got Landon behind him. And then it will be the 2nd place AM driver of Mario Russo, providing he gets it through the final sector, which we've seen is not necessarily that easy. Nick Myers, Andy Benton after his drive-through, and Glenn Savage. So there is Craig and Landon going. Oh, I think, Mario Russo's had a disconnect, so... Or have I had a disconnect? I think I've had a disconnect.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
You can hear me. I think I've had a disconnect from the server.
Yeah, no, he's gone through to take the flag fine, with Myers just rounding the final corner.
So, I'm hoping if everyone... Yeah, so I've cut out my my feed. I'm hoping that I'm still online. Let me know if not. Someone in chat. It's not the way I wanted to finish. It just seemed... I suddenly saw everyone just start floating off and that, so I'm hoping I've managed to save it before my stream has actually gone completely. Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately that's just sent me off a little bit. Yeah, we finish on the evening then with yet another impressive display from Leon Ross.
Yeah, very, very quick. And just Silverstone to go now.
Yeah, so we've got the 1 round left of these Lamborghinis to do. I think Silverstone will be a little bit easier on the conditions. Maybe chuck it a night race. We shall see what happens with that. And then, yeah, we'll be moving on to our GT3 series. So, as I was saying earlier in the stream, there will be a couple of weeks where I look at some sort of cup event. I say probably Ginetta, I would say will be one of them, because we do like the Ginettas and they make for some absolutely brilliant racing. So I think we'll chuck in a Ginetta round, and then we'll look at something else as well as a one make. Maybe bring out the Ferraris or the Porsche Cup again, something like that. And then, yeah, we'll be jumping into a GT3 season. So anyone who hasn't signed up, if you keep an eye on all our Discord and our other socials, we will get sorted with that. We will get the links up. Come and join us. We've got people of all skill levels, and check out some of our other evenings as well, Wednesday nights and say the Fridays, which Ross is started looking after, or is certainly putting votes and stuff out for. Otherwise, thanks for jumping on with me this week, Ross.
No worries, bud. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to jump on the grid next week and see how it goes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you all again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.